You're listening to the Life is Scary podcast. I'm Flame. LAS is made of Giiblet,
Hello.
Atiyana,
Yes.
and Proggoddess.
Hey.
Sometimes we'll have guests on the pod with us. Today, it's us four.
And today our topic is about the power of content creation. We've decided to break it up into 3 different parts. We're looking at the politics, the influencers, as well as extremism.
And with that said, we're gonna spin it right off to talking about AOC and how she changed the game and how voting was changed because of her stream. It's probably not just because of the stream. Everyone was moved to vote at last year's election, but she broke the freaking internet when she decided to stream the Among Us get together to kind of bring awareness to voting and everything. And she had 430,000, am I reading that right? 430,000 concurrent viewers on her first stream ever. This is the first time this woman turned on her camera. I was like, I'm gonna be on Twitch. I don't know if that broke any records, but that is just like and apparently the VOD is probably up to like 6 million views on it by now on YouTube.
Wow.
Which is absolutely incredible.
It actually is one of Twitch's stream's biggest stream ever.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's wild,
Plus,
and I think everyone recognizes how crazy that is.
Yeah.
That was honestly insane. And I caught some of it too, and I was like all those viewers and like everyone participated. I mean, obviously she wasn't paying attention to chat, but people in chat were saying like really nice things.
Wow.
I mean, granted, she was reading chat in the beginning when she was troubleshooting stuff, because always with streams there's some troubleshooting bit, but
yeah.
I was personally watching it off of some other Twitchers streams just to like commentate about it, like additional context, but like that just boosts that number of people who actually watched her deliver her remarks about what happened. Like, Jesus.
And it was
that's just
yeah. It was a glimpse into how politicians, I think, going forward will now consider platforms like Twitch and YouTube. At the moment, well, I don't know. Well, I'm guessing it's at the moment. This article is from the end of the year, last year. But apparently Twitch's 16th most visited website in the US, which it's beating Etsy and Walmart, which is crazy to me because every time you turn on a camera and stream on Twitch, the idea that it's kind of closing the gap and almost just as popular as someone just turning on their TV at home. It almost on par with that kind of audience just blows my mind. And I think more and more politicians are going to view it as a viable source of outreach when it comes to reaching people, specifically young people. And of course that generation is going to change because technically we're all, well, not Flame, but we're all in our approaching 30. And we're no longer going to be the young people that they're trying to target with this platform. And it's just the idea that generations that come after us are going to be spoken to directly, whereas before we were looked at, I know millennials in particular were looked at as if they were lazy and didn't matter and they weren't worth talking to and addressing when it comes to politics. So I think this opens the door for that, and we're no longer looked at just as unreliable people. We changed this election as a whole.
Definitely.
This is crazy true. Meeting people where they are, like on the platforms they use for all the other stuff. Twitch is known for gaming, but now politics is growing as a straight up own category with the commentator people, who I typically am usually fond of on the platform, and the people who are actually making laws, like the politicians who are now showing up on there. AOC is like the biggest one. She's really popular in left or like the liberal side of the political spectrum. But at the same time, other people will notice what she's doing and try to co-opt that method of engagement for their own, which is, I think, overall a good thing. It's just like something to think about. For instance, she's delivering her message unfiltered. No one's like canceling her, like taking her stream down or anything. Other people on the other of different viewpoints can do the very similar thing, deliver their own message to hundreds of thousands of people who also agree with them, thus boosting its popularity, recognition. I mean, these politicians, AOC could have just given a press statement. I wouldn't have seen the press statement unless someone who I already listened to on politics covers said press statement. So
Yep.
the filtering, just removing a middleman, being able to stream on a platform is like, oh, some congressional person streaming something with 100K viewers. Let me go click that and see what they're remarking about. Thus exposing me and anybody else who has a similar method of finding their political content to whatever views they have. Unchecked is something I was thinking about. The fact that, I mean, it's not necessary that every politician be filtered with what they're saying, right? But sometimes not every politician has the truth at heart, like, let's say, to put it lightly. Or their perspective on truth is a little less well-founded, potentially. For instance, recently we had some politicians get exposed for saying some sus stuff, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to mind with regards to that. She lost some of her positions in the in the House, some certain House committee positions she lost. She's not out of the House, but she lost positions. If she wanted to, she's a little older, she's a little crusty, but she could have, if she wanted to, engage with people who vote with her or think like her on Twitch. She got voted into her position. There's people who think like her enough to say this is acceptable, right? The things that she thinks, the way she sees the world, so she can engage with the people there. Again, unfiltered, not unlike a newscast, which I guess there's filters there, but they're different filters, right? Newscasts, they have their own political slants, but that's different, right? I think that's quite interesting.
That touches on how we were trained in growing up with this technology and growing up and seeing these people and seeing how these platforms have evolved. We're trained to see when people are scripted and when people are running off of a rehearsed kind of spiel. There's something very impactful of someone just kind of being open and opening a dialogue with the community directly and not having it be polished and not having anyone to control every single bit and piece of it. Yeah, there's a lot of it that can be controlled with moderators and people managing. Like the way AOC did it was very like, I'm gonna try and figure this out myself and just press the button and see what happens. But I'm sure as politicians try to do it themselves going forward, there's gonna be people managing them and figuring it, doing all the technical stuff. So I don't know that we'll ever get something the way that she just kind of like turns on her camera and goes from anyone else.
At least not for right now. Like, obviously, the political generation, like, people are getting engaged with, young people like myself, I guess if I'm young, right? People younger than me will grow up engaging with politics in this sort of manner. Some of them will decide to run for office. Some of them will be quite savvy with how they use technology. So I wouldn't be surprised within the next 5-10 years or so, people growing up using the technology regularly, or at least know people who do know how to use it, will engage regularly with their people there. Because there's no filter here on Twitch. You don't if you get past the terms of service for Twitch, you're just preaching wherever you want to, which is a blessing and a curse.
Gray hair in Congress in 20 years. It's all going to be young people who were introduced to politics very early on because it's in every platform that they access. And there's going to be like Amanda Gorman is going to be our freaking president when she becomes of age. We're not going to have a single old person in politics ever again.
We run the numbers, I'm sure.
Let's slow down with that one, because we have to keep in mind, I know that'd be amazing, but we have to keep in mind this is not new for politics. Politics have always looked for ways to get us young folks engaged. In the 90s, it was MTV's Rock the Vote, where I distinctly remember Madonna with the flag draped around her wearing a bathing suit.
Oh my god!
That was the thing. Like, that's how they got. I know, Flame. You were like, what?
A toddler. Tell me more. Tell me more. I'm aware of her songs, but I know that I probably heard her songs. I know that much. And she was hot, I think. People liked her. How she looked.
No,
she wasn't. I mean, sounds like a personal opinion. Can we fact check that? Can we fact check her? Provocative. Provoke me more, please.
Yeah, she was
provocative.
She did.
Just look up erotica. Just Madonna and erotica.
You know how Miley Cyrus was blowing everyone's mind because she was like grabbing her vagina on stage and stuff and letting people touch her.
What? Oh my gosh!
Like while she was on stage, Madonna was like I don't even know if it's our
burning crosses and
generation.
kissing Jesus that was
Yeah.
black.
Remember she kissed
Yeah.
who was it? Was it Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera?
Yes, she
The
did
three of them,
with
and
Christina
that was
Aguilera.
like everyone was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
the results are. I think she looked pretty hot when she was. I don't know. I mean,
She
I'm
was
looking
alright.
at photos. She seems solid. Like not
Yeah.
bad. I mean, not like this
But-
bad. People be comfortable in your looks, but like she seems conventionally attractive for a singer of some sort.
I cannot
IMO.
believe you called her conventionally attractive. I
I
cannot.
literally,
But
I'll
I
say,
digress.
Madonna is literally conventionally attractive. Let me look up her now. Like usually
Don't
that
do
ages
that.
well.
Don't do
do
that!
that. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. It was not like wine. It did
Medicine.
not age well. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh my
But-
god.
and I definitely
But-
see that, yeah. The
Yeah,
rock
but
the
like they
vote.
did rock the vote. Here in Georgia, they actually had a voting advocacy group that did Twitch the vote. So they had different celebrities play games on Twitch to promote voting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's nothing new. It's just that they realized nobody's watching MTV. Nobody's watching television. We're watching YouTube and Twitch. So now they're
Oh,
like
man.
Yeah.
moving there. The
It
difference is
definitely- yeah.
the way she did it, because the former president also had a Twitch channel, and he literally uploaded his recordings of his rallies.
Oh,
Wait, who?
that's right. You can record videos. I
He
think it's the
just-
one
yeah,
thing
he
that
just
we never
uploaded
utilized
videos.
about Twitch.
Trump did that?
Yeah, he had
Um,
Twitch.
Exactly.
That's why he
Nobody
ended up
knows
getting
about it.
banned from Twitch.
Damn.
Good. You don't want
But-
Easy. Easy
But you
clap.
see the difference. Like, she looked at it as, okay, yes, I could go and upload stuff and just keep pushing my agenda, or I can actually engage with this demographic that I'm trying to reach.
Yeah, and not only
Mhm.
that, what's exciting about it is she said, I am going to utilize not a celebrity. I'm going to utilize people who are celebrities in that platform specifically.
Yes.
She gained so many viewers because these are people who are well known in that community, and
Mhm.
it then it adds weight and validity to these content creators, and that
Mhm.
they have an audience that's important, and that the people they reach is an important demographic to things like politics and obviously advertisements. But I mean, people have been selling things to us in the Twitch community forever.
What do you mean? I've never seen an ad on Twitch in my life. I mean, the one time they
Mm.
told me to give them money and I give them money. But that's like required, right? You're supposed to give everybody money on Twitch so you don't see ads? That's like a rule? I thought everyone's an
Something
eye
like
roll.
that.
Only if you're friends.
Only if you're
Only
friends.
if
I
you're
see, I see. Oh, now I understand. Cancel now. Goodness.
But yeah, I mean, I think even Bernie Sanders had a Twitch channel. I think he might still have it.
Mm.
And I think he played a video game once.
I
missed
wish.
that.
Oh my god, my heart.
Yeah, I think he played one once.
When he retires, I hope he has a fully successful Twitch career.
That'll be, he'll get partnered. Like it's
What
Oh,
game?
goodness.
Oh, I think he's already partnered.
You
But
could
you
be
know,
able
they
to
can't, like,
detective games, maybe.
I'm sure
I
that
don't
there's
know.
like you don't need the actual followers for partnership when you are
no, not
a
at all.
celebrity.
well known.
When you're rich, they let you do it, I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
Jesus.
I don't even think
Oh,
he
God.
is. Like he's rich, but I mean
He's richer than me.
he's
The
richer
heck?
than us, but
All of us put
Richer than
together?
all
he's
of us.
not
My
Bill
neighborhood,
Gates.
I'm pretty sure.
He's not Bill
Oh,
Gates.
Richer than this whole block.
Richer than this block is mine.
That's
Already can walk up and claim my block. That's okay. I'm
The
with it.
whole
And he
block.
still would wear his mittens and his big winter coat. Oh my god.
It's hard.
Look,
It's
I'm
hard here in
bothered.
these streets for sure.
Yeah.
I want to touch back on a point Yana was making earlier with regards to the MTV outreach thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
big media company owns MTV, and they get to choose. All right, who goes on this platform, right?
Mhm.
What they get to say. I'm pretty sure, like to a certain extent, I'm sure they show them some
Mhm.
version of a script. It doesn't push back against what we want too hard, and then we just go. Whereas anybody, including myself, I can click go live on my whatever streaming platform, be I like a Joe Schmo or a congressperson, and just start
Mhm.
talking. And as long as I don't, allegedly, the rule goes, right? I don't violate terms of service. I stay on the platform and I can talk as long as I want to. Take up all the bandwidth. I don't care.
Okay.
That lack of filter is, at least for me, it's a little concerning. As someone who liked to, like growing up, I used to like watch a lot of news coverage on TV. And it's like, well, I want to say I had faith in the people fact checking what was being delivered to me. Now they probably had an agenda of some sort, but like, okay, there's like some sort of level of oversight. Whereas on Twitch, it's like anybody can just start talking, and if you convince it and deliver it like with a certain candor, right? Thousands of people are listening and believing just straight up what you're saying. Like, and then the other information that they'll see, it'll be, well, honestly, I heard it from the congressperson, and I want to say I trust the congressperson over such and such news website. Therefore, the news website is now like, or at least the author is like, are they lying to me now? Got it. All right. Which, I mean, there's power in that because some sites be
Yeah.
lying, some
I
authors
hope
be
it
lying.
I hope it leads to that then holding these journalists accountable for the news they put out within
I mean,
politics to
yeah,
say that, well, someone can just pick up a camera and fix the story
fix the story.
and
Yeah.
give their piece without filter at any point. We all have access to this. That's what's brilliant about it. What I'm scared of is them somehow censoring it and filtering it again, the same
Mm-hmm.
way they did all these other platforms. YouTube is very, very restrictive. Twitch, I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe has the same restrictions, but YouTube can really,
Mm-hmm.
you mention a certain topic, and all of a sudden no one can search for your video, even by name. It
Yeah.
exists. It exists, and you can link it to somebody, but it's not something that is discoverable. So
Yeah, it's
that
a shadow band,
I
right?
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like with everything going on, that's probably the direction everything is going to go in.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to find
Mm-hmm.
ways to shadow ban uh, people who don't pay the platform their penance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
What was
Flame,
that?
just so
Go.
you know, there has been situations where celebrities have gone off kilter.
Imagine. Wait, they'd have to
George
be under
Bush
the
does
influence
not
of
care
something.
about black people. Kanye was on
What?
MTV,
Oh my God! I would never.
live TV.
I
He
believe
had
him. I believe him
teleprompter and
100%.
he went left.
Who did?
Oh my.
Remember
Mr. West.
Kanye during Hurricane
Oh,
Katrina?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Oh
needed to
man.
be
Like,
said.
well, yes.
The power of Yeezy compelled him, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
there's
Oh
definitely,
yeah.
and I'm sure he faced a lot of backlash for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
there's
mean,
never going to be no
Yeah.
consequences to the actions that we take online or
mm,
in a overly produced media source. That's why a
mm,
lot of these things aren't done live. This just
mm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Twitch stuff forces people to do things live.
Oh
Mhm.
man. I
Yeah.
mean, you could read. You just like go blind and then you read the chat and be like, "Why are they just talk? They're just talking at us. They're not interacting." Very sad. Like you need a certain charisma to go with it. Like
Yes.
AOC, people love her for what she's done, the way she speaks on lots of other media platforms. You can just check that. As far as like if you agree with what her policies are and the way she delivers what she says, it's like I love this charisma. Oh, it's great. She goes back and forth with people
Plus
that be
for
lying. It's great.
charisma.
She got charisma. That's how they say in New York, right? As a non-New Yorker, I'm just assuming that they all talk like her.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I mean
Can you fact check that? I'm gonna run the fact
we
checks.
do have the similar vernacular, but no, nah, man,
Vernacular.
Nah.
Nah, man.
nah.
No.
Step off my turf. That's ours. What the heck are you talking about?
But that
Oh
also
goodness.
like that makes me think of our second topic. When you consider these politicians communicating with the communities and using actual people within that platform to reach
Mhm.
the communities, it is now you're no longer just a Twitch streamer. You're like a serious influencer, and there's tons more weight and responsibility I think that comes with being a streamer on these platforms. If there's going to be even more eyes watching it, the same eyes that may be watching mainstream media, and with the added function of commenting, you really are responsible for educating your audience and making sure that the people who you want to feel comfortable in your stream are comfortable in your stream, and the people you want to make sure that are not welcome know they're not
Mhm.
welcome, and you have to be very blunt and straightforward with it.
Mhm.
And it brings us to the comments that Ninja specifically made when
Oh.
he was quite, I think they were the question was specifically like how often kids frequent his streams, and how does he uh deal with the racial slurs and derogatory terms, and basically addressing racism. And the quote was, the ninja said was, but it all comes down to parenting, ninja said. You want to know who your kid is? Listen to him when he's playing video games when he thinks you're not. Here's another thing. How does a white kid know he has white privilege if his parents never teach him or don't talk to him about racism? He went on to say that it's not his job to teach kids about culture or topics related to race because his first instinct is to assume he's being trolled in chat.
Hmm. Trolling in chat. What does that mean? What do people troll anything, right? Because they think it's humorous to state what they're the troll, right? So if the people by association think it's humorous to throw a slur or two at some random people online or just throw that in the Twitch chat, that sounds like kind of sus. Like I see that in my chat, and I'm like, I'm not a fan.
Well,
I want to
yeah.
have that. I want to make that idea and that line of humor uncomfortable or at least questions.
Well, he
Because I
says
can't.
that.
Obviously, I. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, he
Go
sort
and
of
finish the
says
thought.
that. No, you're right. He
Hmm.
goes, if they're gaming and their first interaction with racism is one of their friends saying the N-word and they have no idea what it is, what if it was on my stream? Ninja asked. Is it my job to have this conversation with this kid? No, because the first thing that's going on in my head is this kid is doing this on purpose to troll me. If someone says a
Hmm.
racial slur on someone else's stream, it can potentially get that streamer banned. It's awful, but that's the first thing I think of.
Seems like a weird association, in
Yeah.
my opinion, right?
Yeah.
If
Seems like
there's
a
a difference between,
selfish association.
yeah, I mean, there's like a lot. I mean, obviously he's a big streamer. He can't read all of his chat, so no way can we hold him accountable to everything, like him personally, at least I'd say. But there's moderators. You have moderators. They exist for a reason. To like get rid of certain words. You can have certain words auto banned. Like that's not even a
Mhm.
person thing. That's a robot working for you. Easy money, right? But at the same time, like you can't defer all responsibility. Like if I'm in a room full of people and someone around me just says some nonsense and I make zero comments about it and there's nobody else to make any comment about, like I didn't put responsibility in either a robot or a person to like make a comment about it. Like I'm not saying that they are by association condemned. Ninja shouldn't be condemned necessarily for that, but making zero effort and then saying it's literally not my job as a defense, that's like that doesn't sit right with me personally.
And he
I
also
don't know what.
Yeah.
acknowledges that the kid probably comes from racist parents, but it's
Mm,
the parents' job to educate them. He I, it didn't sound like
mm,
he had a full thought on the subject. It sounded like
yeah.
he was kind of whining a bit about it because he probably was asked a million times last year since it was a topic of discussion in everyone's
Yep.
mind. And it sounded like it was the response of someone who was like, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck. I'm over it. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to teach none of these kids. I don't have to worry about this. Their parents should be teaching them, even though their parents are probably the racist ones that taught them that stuff. I don't give a fuck. I'm not dealing with it. That's what it just sounded like to me. And it's ignorant. It's ignorant to have so many people that you can reach and then know that this is going on in your chat, even if it is a troll. Even if it's a troll, that's what a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in our third topic is starts with. It starts with trolling. Starts with a joke, like that racist joke that everyone tries to test, and just see how you react to it to see if there's safe to use that language and speak like that there. You have to
And I
address every single one and make sure that they know that that is absolutely not welcome here. Do not
can
feel
I say
comfortable to talk like that. Yeah.
Uh,
as oh
Go ahead.
um as Ninja and all, like he has this huge platform that that he's gained, and to have not also he has a lot of like his community is just a lot of young kids. Like my nephew watches him, like, and he has this influence that he can like put on these younger viewers. You have the power to do that, and like you choose not to because it's not your job to do it. You should do it. Like if I was him, like I would do it. Like even if I get like some trolls and I'll be like, hey, like this is not okay to say, or just just
And
talk
it's
about it.
very he has such a huge follow he's such a huge person in the industry. He should have
Hmm.
moderators that he
Mhm.
pays to handle these situations. There should never be an instance where that's up for more than 10 seconds, if that. And
No,
even with that, even if you have moderators constantly having to delete these posts, the the idea that you're tired of addressing this issue, you should be infuriated that it's an issue that still exists.
Yep.
Not that you have to address the issue. The fact that there is this racist dialogue happening on your stream on multiple occasions is a
Mhm.
problem with the community that you fostered. You created this community. You allowed this to happen for so many years. Now you have to deal with the consequences of that. And a part of that is retraining your community on how they should behave in your presence. You are responsible for the environment that you put everyone in when you turn on your camera.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Agreed. 100%.
It's less funny when you keep getting banned for saying dumb stuff on someone's stream. Like, I want to make the streamer laugh when they see my comment, but I keep getting banned. Maybe I'm saying something wrong. Is an ideal situation, I think.
Yeah.
When you see stuff that's like sus, you're like, if you have the time and you notice it and you are comfortable commenting on it, comment on it. Because a lot of times, all right, personal anecdote incoming, as someone who was younger while gaming and interacted online with people far older than me and had and would use words and verbiage that is just straight up trash, right? I didn't know the context behind a lot of the stuff that I said, right? I would just string words together in a fit of rage because that's what other people said when they're angry. So I figured, okay, this is how you communicate you're mad. I don't have to know all the context, and it's not like a strong, well-founded belief. As I learned what it was, I removed it from my vocabulary, right? Because you can, based on the fact that it affects other people, so be considerate, right? And the fact that I don't want to be the person that looks like they sound like that when they're mad online or something. So the idea that, nope, it's the parents' job to fix everything. My parents didn't fix me, right? I had to learn via osmosis, which is unideal. If you have the power to influence others, right, in that sort of way, oh, then you should. Then you should. It's just, I mean, it's a matter of should, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think it also comes up into the fact that he has a community and the community have norms and beliefs. And if you make it a norm that you could say those things and nobody checks you, then that's your norm. And my issue with this is the fact that Ninja is someone who we've known that has said the N-word on stream in a song that didn't have it.
Oh my god.
It's
And
hard
nothing
to from.
I didn't know
goodness.
that.
I thought the song had the word in it.
Oh my god.
Not in that part that he put in there.
Oh goodness.
Wow,
I don't know.
imagine
There's a
doing
phrase to
that.
describe that.
And what makes it worse to me
Oh,
is the
shit.
fact that his wife gets on Twitter and she's tweeting out how he has talked about this stuff. He just doesn't think he needs to have a seminar on it. And then she's like, let's get our Black friends to talk for us. Black friends, tell us how much you love Ninja.
Oh,
And it's like, are you
goodness.
serious?
No.
Oh man.
Gross.
That's not what we're talking about.
It's not.
The
It's not getting
Mhm.
through. They're not getting
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, it's not even that it's not getting through. And a lot of people have gotten upset because as a Black person who back over the summer, everyone was pro-Black in the Twitch world. It's like, okay, now it's January. Hi, where are y'all? Hi, it's February. Where are y'all?
Oh my goodness.
And that's what the person was really asking about. It was like, you pushed so hard about how important it is to have diversity and stuff back in June because that was the hot topic. Are you really pushing that in your stream? And your response is, that shouldn't be my job. Well, let's keep it real, Ninja. The person who's saying the N-word in your stream is not a little kid. It's probably a grown-ass adult.
Yep.
Stop playing like only 10-year-olds watch your stream. There's a whole lot of adults that watch it.
True.
And it's not
That's
to
true.
say that you
Say
need
that
to
nasty stuff.
give that person attention, because giving that person attention is not the answer, but addressing frequently that is not allowed, and it's you're not going to get access to me and my stream if you behave in this way.
And all it comes down is like, yo, don't say that. That's it.
And also being conscious of the people that you have around you, opening up where you wouldn't have even considered someone and making sure that you're paying attention to how diverse the room you're in is. It's
Mm-hmm.
all important. It's about realizing that we've been trained in such a white world that we really forget that it's harder for someone of color and someone who is black specifically to get into that space. And to say that, oh, I did it for a month, I'm done, is stupid. It's so dumb.
Very. It's
It makes
Oh,
disgusting.
you
man.
seem like an asshole.
Oh, man.
You just
And maybe
did
if you
save
fixed
your
it in a
ass.
month.
That's it.
Yeah,
He's like,
and not the full month,
Jesus.
28 days, that's all.
28
He's
the,
like,
full, the
Even the
shortest
full
fucking
month.
28 days, we'll be fine.
he
The
literally,
Black
he
community
literally,
and Peter Dinklage are irate. All right, do y'all see that calendar that was it with Peter Dinklage on it? Like it was a Game of Thrones calendar, I think, and they gave him fucking February. It's hilarious. I don't know. Side note,
Who's
right? Back
Peter
to more
Dinklage
serious
again?
topics.
I don't
Hey,
know actors.
the little
Yeah.
person
Oh,
Game of
I
Thrones
love
actor.
Peter
Yeah, the
Dinklage.
little guy.
See, he also got February. Same
because
injustice.
it's
All right,
the shortest
represent.
month of the year.
I
It's
thought
true.
it was
It's true.
because we all loved him.
Wait,
That
Sure.
February
so
That
we
is the
is
love
month of
what you say.
love.
is the association we love Peter Dinklage as much as we love black people? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm very confused
Oh,
about
I
the messages in
see,
here.
because it's Black
Oh.
History Month.
It's also Black History
I
Month. You
thought,
see that? Your
but that's
privilege
what's
is so
that
check yourself.
exactly. But I can acknowledge that makes
Yeah.
sense.
See Ninja role model right here. Give her your viewers immediately. Like what the heck?
Well, no,
Sometimes we're
and
gonna
it
be all wrong, but we
it
gotta
makes
fix it.
sense
We gotta make an effort.
also because the month is for children in school to acknowledge it, but we should be acknowledging it all year. It
Mhm.
shouldn't be
Yes.
something that a month comes around and suddenly Twitch's front page has the few black people that they decide to represent them instead of it just being, you know what, let's make it all year round where this is the most colorful page on the internet where everyone is represented and given an equal chance and it's not just these white males decorating the front page of Twitch.
I see that all the time on Twitch. Just the same
It's-
10 people
Oh
on
man.
the front page.
I remember. I think usually
Even
from
though
my.
who-
I don't know.
Oh
Do
my
you guys
god,
know who?
names, but you know who they
Okay.
are.
You know who
Mhm.
they are. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, seriously, you know,
Yeah.
if it's Black history or Black anything, it's going to be
Uh-huh.
a certain few that's going to be up there. And it's like, I'm so happy that y'all are up there, but let's keep it real. There's like a lot of other individuals
There's a
It's
that
lot
true.
of
should be up
other
there.
amazing content creators
I
who
mean,
should
the
be up
Twitch
there
safe.
as well.
Absolutely. The Twitch safe is the main thing, right? Probably back to that moderation thing. Like MTV chose to promote Madonna because she was gonna spread a message. I'm sure they were told at the very least that was MTV safe. It's not pushing back MTV's bottom line. Twitch ain't gonna promote people that push against their bottom line. They ain't promoting people like the billionaires are hoarding our wealth and we need to eliminate them immediately. Because Twitch has fucking millionaires and billionaires on there for sure. Like, there's no
They're
way they're
owned by
gonna endorse that.
Amazon.
Yeah,
By Amazon.
they are the
Second
billionaires.
richest man, the loser. Jeff Bezos is officially a loser because he's only the second richest man in the world, I think.
It's
Second richest in the
Well,
US,
he's
maybe.
stepping down, so it's
He's,
going to be interesting.
stepping down.
He's stepping
Oh my
down because he
God.
made so much fucking money he don't need to be CEO anymore. He made
He-
so
he's
much money
spending
off of
money.
people dying that it doesn't even matter.
It's true.
Look,
It's true.
I'll
That's
admit
true.
it. He has my check.
He has mine.
Yes, mine too.
Sorry.
And until
That's why I got to
there's
be on Twitch so much. I get the money back.
that's why it's bad because until there's like something comparable to it, it's always going to be this way.
Mhm.
That's why
Yeah.
Set up
billionaires
for-
shouldn't exist.
Mm.
Anyway.
Hashtag.
Until I'm a billionaire.
Wait, I don't know. Oh goodness.
But, okay, so then let's look at the extremists. Let's look at the content creators that take things all the way to Narnia.
Narnia.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it's those people
Yes,
who
sir,
start off as
confirmed.
trolls and those people
Mm.
who start off with those like silly jokes that they think, oh, as long as people think I'm joking, I keep saying this shit. And the people who agree with me, they're the ones that are going to DM me and we're going to get together and we're going to become this big thing. And that's what happens. And that's what happened with Baked Alaska. Is everyone thought he was a fucking joke. And this asshole ended up freaking breaking into the Capitol with a group of people who were just jokes, who no one took seriously. And they have just as much access to all these programs and platforms that we do. That us, the people who clearly see like what is right and what is wrong, it's also accessible to these extremists, people who use it to pass misinformation and people who use it to get neo-Nazis together.
The beautiful thing, right? I'm just mad they didn't like bridge their collective energies together to get into Area 51. Like, what happened with that, y'all?
Yeah,
What
like
happened
Could
with
have
that?
gotten Liddy. There was a lack of energy, lack of fervor, right? That was showing up for Area 51. I feel like it's a data reference. I have to check the year on that, right? But they brought the energy, right, for 1-6, right? They brought the energy for the worst possible reasons. Why? I'm blaming Ninja. Ninja made Baked Alaska happen. It's official.
no. I'm gonna tell you
My
why.
right.
No. I'm gonna tell you why
Break it down,
Area
please.
51 did not work. And it's really, really simple, and why the Capitol did work. Area 51, the U.S. military said, "We know you're American citizens. If you get on our property, we will shoot you." The Capitol said, "Come on in."
That is
Come
true.
on.
That
Right,
is true
sense.
because the police within the Capitol that were allowing the insurrectionists to enter the Capitol were a part of these groups, a part of passing around this misinformation, and no one was regulating them. They thought that they were jokes because people like Ninja looked at it and said, I'm tired of telling these trolls to stop trolling.
Oh man, nah, man.
So they said, ooh, we found spaces that we can
Uh-huh.
talk in. And we found
I get-
spaces where we're welcome. There's other people who think like me and are cruel and evil and unjust like me.
Mhm.
And
You
there were
can't tolerate
people-
intolerance. Sorry.
There were people
Go
at
on.
that Capitol, that thing that I can't even fathom to believe happened. There were people there who did not understand the severity of it because they were so convinced that the part that they were playing was right, and they didn't. There were a couple people who were like, I didn't realize that this was gonna go down. I was here to support Trump because I believe in Trump. But what I was telling everyone in my circle, because where I work, there's a lot of Trump supporters where I work, and it's very exhausting and taxing every day. But I still address it. I don't do a ninja. I don't pull a ninja. I still say, bitch, stop being racist. Bitch, stop being white. Basically, stop it. Just stop it. Just don't be white.
Wait,
Just don't be white.
Stop.
Just stop it.
It's
But
not the white part. It's the other thing. Definitely the other thing.
Stop.
if you look to your right, you're standing at this rally and you look to your right, and there's someone holding a flag that believes that the human race should be purged of imperfections. And if you look to your left and there's somebody holding a flag that believes that the human race should be able to own people as slaves, and you're all tolling that line together,
Mhm.
you cannot claim that you have misinformation because it's around you.
Mhm.
It is literally in front of you, and you're choosing not to see. So a lot of these people who have access to Twitch and YouTube and are spreading this information, not only is it hitting the people who want to feed it and want to like, yes, give me, this is it's people like me. We want to grow and get together and really overthrow our government. It's also hitting people who are like, oh, I'd rather not see the bad in that. Oh, but they're getting together and they might further my cause. I'm going to go to those things. And that's how you create extremism.
Mm-hmm. You brew they'll make it themselves. There'll be some people who are just looking for the appropriate space to convince the people who are just enough similarly minded with just enough similarly aligned goals that we can tag them along on this. Maybe they'll just be willfully ignorant. Maybe they believe in what I'm saying. Right? Either way, we can storm together, brosif. That's the idea.
Yep.
That's why every corner that has totally unregulated freedom of speech online just makes it's a breeding ground for neo-Nazis, right? They keep cropping up in places trying to spread their agenda that they are like the supremacists, right? They get to use all the slurs because freedom of speech or something. Meanwhile, they literally Nazis fought against the U.S., but whatever. Doesn't matter. Not treasonous, not in the slightest, right? Oh,
Yeah.
man. The goofy.
And I know that there were people who, they stated that they didn't know what was going to happen that day. And they had their children there. And my response is, back during the lynching, people brought their kids there and they wore their Sunday's best while they watched people be burned and lynched.
It's wild to me that years later this is still the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's like
It's the
you don't
same
address it,
conflict.
and then the problem persists if you don't address it. Like if I got cut and I just let the sucker sit. I mean, honestly, actually, that's probably not the best example because
It's the
people heal
same
right.
because the people
It is.
responsible for it aren't being held accountable. Because there's
True.
an
Yeah.
actual case of impeachment on. And
Right.
there's people actually saying that he doesn't deserve to be impeached.
Deserve.
That is
Deserve.
why
Deserve.
there's no
That
such thing as
incitement.
progression. There's no such
Oh
thing.
my-
I don't see a future where this is never going to be a conflict we all have unless we put our foot down, and people who have the mentality that this is wrong get the same cojones of the people who are against having mixed races and having black people in power and having just the world shared. Period. That's all it is. It's sharing the
Mm.
world that we live in
Mm.
and
Yeah.
benefiting mutually in a state of equity.
Equity.
That
Imagine.
makes
I feel like-
everything accessible.
Oh goodness. Equity is lost for them. Equity for these people, I feel like, is lost because that doesn't mean they aren't on top. If they're a similar spot, then you can't be on top of anything if you're
Because
sharing
they
the
don't believe
space
that
with
they've
others.
taken anything.
They haven't
don't.
taken
They
anything.
don't believe that they're starting ahead of the line. Because they're like, well, I have hardship.
It's if a neo-Nazi was continuously stabbing me in the arm, and I just ignored the neo-Nazi stabbing me and be like, "So what are we having for breakfast, y'all?" That's what America did. America asked, "So what are we having for breakfast?" And the neo-Nazi just hung around there, fighting the bad fight, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I hope that I hope that more people take note of how radicalized these people with misinformation became and how easy it was for them to collect and form this right-wing extremism group and how
Yep.
no one took them seriously. I hope people's eyes
Not
were
even-
opened.
But not even so much they didn't take them seriously. They truly believed they were doing the right thing. They were broadcasting, breaking into the Capitol on their own like Instagram feed. I'm
That
like,
is
Twitch. They
Yeah,
were
like,
like
we
people
can't
literally streaming
ignore.
this stuff.
We can't ignore.
Mhm.
It's not the internet's fault. We can't ignore that half the country still voted for him.
but I understand that part. Like, who you voted
yeah,
for,
yeah.
that's your business. You can handle that on your
Yeah.
own. But the fact that you say, I am going to go and break into a federal building and record myself.
I mean,
Like,
but what if they
You
videos
want to
want
go
them
into
were-
Target and steal and record yourself?
Did you see that
my
some
God.
of the videos of them were like, well,
Yeah.
we own that building. We pay taxes.
We own that
we-
building.
We
Oh,
pay
man.
their salaries. We own that building. We should be able to walk in and do whatever we want. Meanwhile, if the tables were turned,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
there's
Mhm.
Bitch whip 'em.
no way in hell. Everyone pays equal taxes. No matter
Check that.
what fucking
Bezos ain't paying my
color
taxes.
within the same tax bracket.
Tax bracket.
We all pay
My
the same
goodness.
taxes, and it would have been a completely different outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's completely different.
My goodness.
And I believe it was scarier than we even got broadcasted to us. And I
Yeah,
don't think
absolutely.
just how scary it is ever going to come out.
Well,
I mean, ALC's preaching
yeah.
that. Recently, she had that stream about what she wasn't even at the Capitol building with the dome. She's in a secondary building off to across the street, and there are people wandering in there, or that they had to at
Mhm.
least address the fact that they could walk across the street, and if they're gonna get the same "will come on in" sort of treatment, people's lives are in danger because people walk around with zip ties, with weapons and whatnot, or weapons. I might have to check that, but at the very least,
No,
zip ties.
they had
Looking like they
guns.
tried to abduct some
People
people,
had
right?
weapons going in there.
Yeah. They had
Yeah.
guns. There was someone who actually put bombs around the Capitol the night before.
No
They
news
had
source was
surveillance on.
reporting.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Literally
Mhm.
take this story, put it somewhere else, let's say in the Middle East, and it's like, oh, that's coverage on CNN for sure. Like, that makes seems believable. It's just that they didn't get what they wanted exactly. Bombs didn't go off. People weren't abducted, right? That's one step
Yeah.
away.
But people
Right.
were killed.
Mhm.
And people were killed here, too.
Refuse
Anyway.
to highlight the fact that, yes, I'm someone who believes in AK. But do I think that they need to be murdered and beaten to death? No. And I don't understand how right-wing people preaching, oh, Blue Lives Matter, allowed a cop to be beaten to death.
Mm-hmm. He was the wrong cop, though, you'd say.
Brutally. Brutally. It was beyond. That person suffered a very slow and painful death. And the news coverage that it got and the response from sources that were covering the June and the summer protests were that these people were emotional.
Emotional?
Their feelings were hurt. And they felt like their vote didn't count, so they were justified in beating the shit out of that cop.
Imagine if black people did that. Wait a second. Hold
on.
No.
Cops were beating up protesters for standing in the street. The one thing that stands out to me, and I can't say it without getting emotional, is the Elijah McClain vigil that got tear gassed. And they were reporting it as if they were these villainous people taking up space that they shouldn't have. Those same reporters are painting the people that beat the crap out of that cop like just emotional, heartbroken, misunderstood individuals. And not the evil extremists that they were.
But you know what? I think there was a difference, actually, because I think the local and the reporters and journalists that weren't there at the Capitol, yeah, that's how they view them. But the ones that were hiding underneath the desk, the ones that were running from the people because they were tearing up their equipment, they didn't look at them like that. They looked at them like they were thugs that were at the Capitol.
Yeah, but the ones that are getting
they really were going to die. I think that's going to happen because at some point in our society, we realize that this issue that we had that exploded on that day at the Capitol is far beyond those people. And looking at those people is not going to help or change the situation, honestly. It goes much higher up.
A situation
and
enabled those people.
We have to have this impeachment hearing because we had someone that was in power that supported this. And then go down the line. You know, look at senators that sat there and were promoting and pushing it when it was happening up until they realized, you know, people were being killed. Then they were like, oh, wait.
Not even after that. Not even.
Yeah.
They had to have a script written out to say, like, hey, you have to say this or else. But for sure, that man was not getting on a video to say not to do this unless someone forced him. To tell someone who murdered
denied the National Guard.
Yeah, exactly. They're passionate, you say. So you love the passion.
Yeah.
He didn't love the protesters in Charlottesville. My goodness.
Yeah.
He said the way that individual speaks. My goodness. I can't.
Yeah.
I could never.
Yeah.
When the looting starts, the shooting starts.
The looting starts. Yes. It's promising violence against people taking stuff like material goods. We will end your life if you take material goods from people. Property over people, obviously.
Only if it's not in my name.
It's not my name. It's not my name. Oh, goodness.
But if you do it in
know what?
You're just misunderstood. Emotional. Take a whole podium. It's okay. Take someone's mail. It's okay.
That'd been pretty.
Laptop.
If there was violence, like if you were able to like just poof
she was
a laptop.
It. That's so.
Wait, so someone stole a laptop?
They
stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop.
Oh, insanity.
Because when they ran. So everything that was like, think about, you know, you're at your desk, you go to a meeting, there.
Yeah.
And I mean, even down to in the actual area, what is it called? The assembly. People had papers, and there was a girl who literally on the video, and I know they don't show it anymore. She was like this. taking photos of all the papers that was sitting there.
I'm not
That was stuff
entirely
they were going to
certain.
be
Clinton's
discussing.
emails.
Yeah.
Clinton, she talked the emails. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't have a particularly high opinion of the intelligence of the people who invaded the Capitol, so they probably wouldn't know what they're reading anyway. So that's probably
Well,
fine. That's
selling
security
it to
saved.
people who do.
Selling
Yeah.
to people who do. That's true. I don't know if they know how
And-
to find those people, but maybe they do. Shoot.
I have one last thing,
Recognize them.
and then I think we need some like positivity. So, Goddess, I'm gonna
Positivity.
need something from you.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, I heard like the other day somebody got onto St. Andrews Air Force Base and got on a plane. And St. Andrews Base is where the president's plane is out.
Really?
It just-
So obviously we haven't learned a lesson fully.
Uh-huh.
I think this is just exposing our country's a fraud. It's all the safety measures have just been like
What's
glass walls. We didn't realize that if
Third
we
world
poked lightly would
With the Gucci
should.
belt. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Like we haven't really learned our lesson at all.
Oh man.
Yeah. They
I
literally
mean,
are. Yeah.
oh,
I'm trying to. Yeah, that was
It's
yesterday.
fine.
I'm sorry. That was yesterday.
Yes.
wow, that happened yesterday.
Yes, Air Force will investigate base security worldwide and wake up intruder entering a jet at the Andrews Air Force Base, which is home of Air Force One.
Uh-huh.
He got on the jet. I can't get on a plane.
Sorry,
in
I
LA
shouldn't laugh.
airport.
I shouldn't laugh. Oh my god. It's comical, and it's gonna keep happening as long as there's access to means of communications and reaching an audience. That's why, as wonderful as it is to have AOC streaming live, and as much as we want Ninja to regulate his chat, it all starts with these platforms doing the work themselves first and stopping these people from radicalizing and coming together in this way that is destructive and misinformation.
Yeah.
You can't the how quickly
Yeah.
it is with the YouTube algorithm and Twitch all these recommended videos kind of just
Yeah.
leading people down the rabbit hole. What starts with like a anti-Semitism joke leads to complete like neo-Nazi rulebook. So it's a scary world,
Oh.
the internet, and I think I for one need a positive affirmation to get me
Okay.
through.
Well, I was looking for a really good one. If I hope this one is good, not just for us, but for whoever may be listening.
And also, just for context, we are going to be ending each recording with something nice, something good for you. So you
Yes.
leave
So-
with sweetness in your lips, Sweetness.
Alright.
They listen with their
all.
ears, Ariel, not their lips. What are you
I
talking
like
about
to
here?
think they are tasting each and every one of us.
I'm not
I'm
sure
sure.
about that. I am very sure.
I'm open
I'm
to
uncomfortable.
Science, please. Science me, please. Jesus.
No, I need
Oh, God.
affirmations. Help.
All right. So this is called I am doing my best every day. No matter if you manage to do something small or big today, every day you are giving your best to create the life you want. Success comes in little baby steps and it does not happen overnight. Constantly reminding yourself that you do your best you can do every day and you learn daily from your mistakes. Even if you have a bad day today, just appreciate yourself for trying and making little progress every single day.
That was beautiful.
I like
I
it.
like it.
Yes. Topical and
every day.
beautiful.
I needed that after this week.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a week.
Oh my goodness. This is Saturday for context when we're recording,
Yeah,
so
and it's-
naturally the end of
It's
the week.
also still 2021 somehow.
It's still
year.
2020.
I thought 2020 was a long year, but this one, whew,
It's been 84.
2020 extended edition. Director's
I was
cut.
gonna say, did we ever actually end 2020?
I don't know.
Honestly-
No, this is a sequel, I feel.
whoever is
Personally-
time traveling and changing shit, can you stop? You're not
Please.
fixing anything.
Oh my god.
Stop stepping on the butterflies.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
They should have a movie about that, like the butterfly effect or something.
I
And on that
can't.
note,
It's a joke because I know that's a movie for context. Okay, I haven't seen all of it.
I was
but I
about
know
to
all people would
scream.
appreciate.